Welcome back to the Changeover, your favorite home for unfiltered tennis talk. We are powered as always by secondserveaces.com. Today we are serving up some absolute chaos. We've got players threatening to blank the press at SW19 over a slice of the financial pie, some serious grass court slipping and sliding in Bad Homburg, and a deep nerdy dive into why even the absolute gods of our sport look like weekend hacks when trying to hit an overhead smash on grass. I am Bhaskar, your resident editor-in-chief, trying to keep these two on track.
Good luck with that, Bhaskar. Honestly, after staying up until 2 in the morning watching that 5-set marathon last night, my brain is operating on about 3% battery.
Perhaps the exhaustion is a gift, Leo. It strips away the superficial. Though, speaking of the superficial, that green light on my microphone is staring at me again. It has a very panoptic quality today.
Just don't let it hypnotize you, Arthur. We have actual breaking news to edit and discuss. Let's start with the big one on secondserveaces.com today. The players are apparently ready to go completely silent at Wimbledon. They want 16% of the revenue despite a record £64.2 million prize pool.
And they should. Look, people see 64 million and think everyone is buying yachts. They don't see the journeymen paying for coaches, flights, physios. It's a grind. A media boycott is the only real leverage they have.
It is an existential standoff. The player, isolated on the court, yet bound to the corporate machinery of the tournament. By refusing to speak, they are, in essence, reclaiming their own narrative. Silence, as a form of protest.
But is silence going to get them 16%? I mean, our comment section on secondserveaces.com is absolutely losing its mind over this. Half the fans are saying pay them, and the other half are saying they're already spoiled.
Spoiled? Come on, Bhaskar. You know as well as I do, if you're ranked 80 in the world, you're basically a middle-class contractor with massive overheads. If Wimbledon is pulling in hundreds of millions, 16% is actually a modest ask.
Indeed. The disparity between the zenith of the sport and the, shall we say, the foot soldiers is vast. It's a system that requires them to perform, yet starves them of the very equity they generate.
Well, speaking of performing under pressure, let's look at what actually happened on the court. Over in Bad Homburg, Ekaterina Alexandrova just took down Andreeva 6-3, 6-4 on grass. That is a massive result.
Alexandrova's flat strikes are just lethal on this surface. Andreeva is a genius, but on grass, you don't have time to paint the corners with heavy topspin. You get rushed. Your movement gets exposed.
It was painful to watch Andreeva struggle with her footing. The grass court demands a certain surrender to gravity. You cannot fight the slip. You must glide through it. Alexandrova looked like she was skating, while Andreeva was fighting the lawn.
Fighting the lawn is a great way to put it. I remember trying to play on grass once, and my backhand completely deserted me. Not that it was great to begin with, but still.
Your backhand deserts you on concrete, Bhaskar. But seriously, Svitolina withdrawing from Bad Homburg too. The physical toll of this quick transition from clay to grass is just brutal. It's a check some of these bodies just can't cash right now.
Exactly. And if you want to understand the tactical side of these grass court adjustments, you've got to check out the deeper analysis on secondserveaces.com. Our AI-driven metrics actually break down court positioning and ball bounce height, which explains exactly why players like Andreeva get caught in no man's land.
The bounce, or lack thereof. It leads us quite elegantly to our next conundrum. Why is it that Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner, players of supreme athletic grace, struggle so mightily with the overhead smash on grass?
Oh, the Joko smash! It's legendary for all the wrong reasons. But Sinner, too, lately. On grass, you can't get your feet planted. You're looking up at the sky, the ball is drifting in the wind, and your back foot is slipping.
Wait, is it really just about footwork? Because on hard courts, they eat those lobs for breakfast.
It is psychological, as much as physical. When you look up into the endless blue, or the gray English drizzle, with no ceiling to ground your depth perception, and the shifting turf beneath you, You are essentially suspended in a moment of pure vulnerability.
Plus, the ball doesn't sit up. If you don't hit it clean, the grass absorbs the pace, and suddenly you've hit a sit-up lob right back to your opponent. It makes you second-guess the contact point.
Well, I feel slightly better about my own terrible overheads now. If Novak can't do it consistently, I have an excuse.
Speaking of fighting the lawn, or perhaps mastering it, did you see the news out of SW19? Serena Williams returning to the singles draw. It feels less like a comeback and more like an existential defiance of time itself.
Defiance is the word, Arthur. Look, she's sharing the practice courts with Novak Djokovic again. Novak is chasing slam number 25. Serena is back on the grass. The sheer physical presence of those two in the same square mile of London.
It is absolutely massive for the tournament. The traffic on our site has been going crazy since the announcement. Our readers on secondserveaces.com are debating if she can actually make a deep run or if this is just a celebratory lap.
A celebration, or a confrontation with the inevitable. To see her and Djokovic side by side, it's like watching two monuments refuse to become history. Novak is still moving like a 20-year-old, his joints apparently immune to the friction of reality.
Novak's mentality is just on another planet, mate. But let's talk about the young blood, Jannik Sinner. He just dismantled Cam Norrie 6-3, 6-3 in that exhibition. After all those medical tests post-Paris, he looked absolutely lethal.
Yeah, I was editing the match report on that one. Sinner's movement didn't look compromised at all. He was sliding on the grass like it was clay, which honestly always makes my knees ache just watching.
He's striking the ball so clean, Bhaskar. Norrie is no pushover on this surface, but Jannik was just taking the ball so early. He's sending a massive message to the rest of the locker room. The hip issue? Gone. He's ready.
It is the clinical precision of Sinner that fascinates me. He plays tennis like a mathematician solving an equation that doesn't want to be solved. Norrie was simply a variable to be eliminated.
Well, speaking of grass specialists, we've also got Taylor Fritz starting his Eastbourne defense against Jan Choinski. Fritz on American hard courts is one thing, but his grass game is seriously underrated.
Fritz has that massive serve-forehand combo that just penetrates the court so well when the grass is fresh. Choinski is going to have to play the match of his life to even get a look at a break point.
Indeed. Fritz possesses a certain heavy elegance on this surface. It is less about the slide and more about the absolute authority of the first strike.
Absolutely. Well, if you want the full tactical breakdown of Fritz's path through Eastbourne or the data-driven projections on Sinner's Wimbledon run, you have to check out the site.
That's right. Head over to secondserveaces.com for the deep dive articles, the AI-driven metrics, and the actual strategy behind the scores.
Go there, read, analyze, and perhaps find some meaning in the lines. Until next time, this has been The Changeover.